Hi everyone, my name is Laura Strength and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to show you shortly how I made this card, which looks like that. I'm doing in a different design shortly. Just a couple of things before I start. I've got a Facebook page called Cards by Laura. In there you'll find just photos of cards that I make through my workshops and classes and my videos. You're welcome to follow along on that page. I've also got a Facebook group called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. All the PDFs for these cards, along with lots of other cards, I do a live video on a Saturday morning in this group, and the PDFs for those, as well as lots and lots of other cards, are in the Files tab in that group. If you wish to join this group, there's two questions you need to answer. Why you wish to join the group, and also that you agree to the rules. If you don't see the questions on the device you're on, try going to a different device. If you're on your phone, try maybe your an iPad or a PC or your laptop. If you haven't answered the questions, I will send back a little notification to say that you haven't answered the questions, and you can try again. As I mentioned before, all the PDFs are in the Files tab in this group. My live video on a Saturday morning, I pin that to the Featured tab when I'm finished, and then I do upload it to YouTube, so you get the benefit of if you haven't got time to watch me live, or if you're not in the group, you can still watch it along on YouTube. And my YouTube channel, if you're watching for the first time today, it's called Creative Gems. I'd love you to subscribe, and if you hit the subscribe button and there's a little bell there, you can hit that and it will notify you when my videos are up for viewing. I do record my videos for convenience for me. I'm not always ready at the time when I post the videos or schedule the videos. So if you do like what you see, give me a little tick and a thumbs up, and I'll much appreciate that. I've got over 6,000 subscribers now, which I'm very happy with. I've only been doing it for a couple of years, so see what you like, see if you like what I'm going to do today. I'll put that aside. This card is called a Star Gatefold card. I did case it from another demonstrator. I think it's Tammy White. Can't remember now. I'm pretty sure it was. I did one little different thing on this one, which I'm going to change on the next one. This one here should have had another mat of the same colour as the base on the outside of that one. It should have been the same size as this. I'd already committed to what I was doing, so I just left it at that, but it still looks okay, because the mat should have come out to these score lines here. So I'm going to do the different one today. I've got a little writing section on the back where you can write your message, and we shall get started. I've got all my measurements typed up here, so you can either take a screenshot of that, or these measurements will be in the description box of today's video, so you can pop in there. And as I said before, they will be the full PDF with directions will be in the Files tab in my Facebook group called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. So we'll start with all the pieces that I've got here. This is my card base. This is in Petunia Pop. It's 10 inches by 4 inches, and I've got an extension piece which is 4 by 4. So that's going on there. We'll score those two in a minute. My mats are in, this is the same colour as, this one is the same colour as the base. Oh, there's two of those. Actually, if I cut two, I have not. 4 by 4, two of one. Yes, I'll cut another one of those. I need one more. I'll get that. Oh, no, there it is. I thought I'd cut the right number. Two of those 4 by 4 in the mats. That's one of them where it's should be behind this one, and also the one on the front, which one we're going to cut diagonally. So that's those two. my template. This is my template, and I'll show you how that's going to work in a minute. That's just for my benefit, and you can do the same if you wish. And then we've got my mats, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, 3 of. That's these in the black, 1, 2, and I've done one here that's already adhered to the DSP. So there's 3 of those in the black. They're 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then I'm going to cut one of these on the diagonal. You'll see that in a minute. That's in the coordinating colour in the black. Then the mats on these ones here, they're in the black as well. There's 4 of these, 3 3/4 by 1 3/4, 4 of in the coordinating colour. And then the DSP is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. I've got 3 of and 2 designs. So 1, 2, and the other one is already attached to this one here. This one's going in the centre of at the back. I've embossed this one back here. This one I'm putting that checkered pattern. So that's that piece. And then the other 2, I've got 1 of each, 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and one of these I'm cutting on the diagonal. You'll see all that when we get to it. The DSP on the fronts of these smaller ones is 2 of each, two designs, 3 1/2 by 1 1/2, 4 of. That's those. And the back mat, that's in the black. Oops, my flowers and decorations. That's in the black. That's 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. That's in the black. And then that little piece there, I've just put some strips of DSP on this one. This one here, I did stamp that flower at the back. That one is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. Then I've got some die cuts and embellishments for decoration, which are these here. I'll show you the dies that I used. I've got the 2 circle dies, decal circles they're called. I think they might be retired actually. Those 2, that's going on the front, and then the rectangle decaled is going inside. I've got celebrate and birthday wishes, and I've die cut some little flowers. The flowers are from this meant to be set, cute little set. The celebrates from Beautiful Motives, and the birthday wishes is from Simply Said. That's that one there. Something else I was going to tell you. The embellishments, I'm going to use some of these 24-26 in colour resin dots. I've got some little petunia pop. My colour is petunia pop. I think I mentioned that. Oh, the paper, that's what I was going to mention. It's 12 by 12, cute as can be. I don't particularly use the bee pattern, although it would be cute. I've used the flowers and the checks. The backs of the papers are quite pretty in those. That one there is not too bad. It's got little honey jars on it, but I like the backs. I only got 1 pack of that because I'm not sure if I'd use it all that often, but I do love the colours in it. I'll put that back aside. And we shall get started. I'll put that aside. I've got my measurements here for my scoring. And we shall leave that up there. Put all those there. Done with the dies. All those little bits can go to the end. Now you'll need your trimmer for some scoring. One of these is the end of that, and that's a mat, so we'll leave that one over there. So the 10 by 4 inch piece, we've got 3 of those, we'll leave those there. It's scored at 2, 4 and 8. So we've got that one there. Make sure your cutter's out of the road. 2, 4, open the arm out, and 8 inches. That's that piece. And then one of these 4 by 4 It's just getting scored in half at the 2-inch mark. That's all the scoring you'll need to do for now. There is a little bit of cutting to do, but I might be doing it freehand, I think. So this one here you can just fold in half and burnish. And this one here, the 2 inner ones are going to valley folds. Make sure it's nice and straight. Oh, not inner ones. We need to, we'll put them all inwards for now. We can fold them back the other way. So the one where there is 2 pieces on that, two sections on the end is that end. So this is going to make the second section on this end. So make sure you've got it where there's one score line and one section here. And then we're going to add that into there. Doesn't matter whether you add it to the top or underneath. I might just put it on top. And just make sure it's just a fraction to the side of the score line, otherwise it's not going to fold shut. So we'll put some liquid glue onto that. It's easy enough to get it pretty straight. I'll put a fair bit so it doesn't come apart. And then just line that up down that score line, just a fraction to the side of it, not too much. And make sure it's even top and bottom that way. And just fold that in so make sure it does fold in nicely. And that gives you the two sections on each end. You could use a piece of 12 by 12 and that way you wouldn't need to add this piece, but this is I prefer this where you can use a standard size piece of cardstock. Not everybody has all the colours that they want in 12 by 12, so that's the easy way to do an extension on it. So these will go inwards and then these come outwards. So it joins like that in the centre. We'll just line them up so that they're nice and there's no gap there. And they line up nicely in the centre. So that's that piece. Now, we've got 2 pieces at the back. That's the one I stuck together. So that's going in there. We'll do one section at a time. We can put that one in because the other piece is going on top of that. This is a 4 by 4 mat and a 3.5 by 3.5 DSP. Or you could emboss your top section. I did emboss that, but then you're covering it with your, I had a sunflower embossed image at the back of that. And then when I put the other piece in, I thought, well, that was a bit of a waste because it all got covered up. But not to worry. And I had the big sunflower centered right in the middle. So I thought I'll use patterned paper this time. And then these can go in. Now I was going to put them, I think I'm putting this pattern in the center and these 2 to the, there should be another one. There it is. Those 2 to the outside. It's personal choice where you want. You can do all 4 the same and different one in the middle. You can mix and match whichever you like. So we'll put all of those on. There's nothing to go underneath these. They're just straight onto the base. It's quite a quick card once you cut all your pieces. I'll centre that into those sections. I do like this colour. My favourite colours are pink and blue, and pink and blue go lovely together too. I thought of doing blue mats for this, but I chose the black. Pink and black go nicely together as well. That's those 2. Nice and mild here today. We're into August and weather's not too bad. We had a few cold days, but starting to warm up a little bit. Almost into spring. I've lived in Australia all my life, in Queensland, and I've only lived 3 different houses, twice before I got married and then once after, oh no, twice after, actually 4 times, 4 houses. We did move. We were in the first house for 30 years when I got married, and then we moved here, and we've been here for 25 years. I'm not one to move a lot. Okay, we can put the back section on as well. We'll do that while we've got them here. So I'll just adhere that. This is 3 3/4, no, 3.5 by 3.5, the white piece, and the black piece is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And I'm putting the stripes up and down, but it's square, so it doesn't matter which way you put it to start with. And then we'll adhere that into the centre. You could decorate those back panels as well. I think it might make it a little bit thick, doing that much mats. So that one's going in the middle. Lots of times if I can't think of something to put on your greeting mat, I just do a couple of strips of DSP. So that's that. Now, what shall we do? We shall do, we've got this, and the flowery ones going in the centre. This is the diamond one. Now, I'll show you what I meant. We can stick the 3 together first. This is the easiest way I found to do it. Will I? Yes. Yes. I'm just thinking, I did it different when I prepped it all, or when I did the sample card. But I want to try and make it a bit easier for you to follow. So adhere the 3 together to start with. That's going on there. And this is the piece that I missed on my sample card. So we'll try it. It didn't make a lot of difference. I did find that when to stand it up, it was sort of leaning a bit further forward because it didn't have that extra mat around to help it stand up, but it still stood up okay. So that's that. Now this is where your template thing comes in. So that's where it's going to sit, but as you can see, we need to cut these off. So what I did, I made this template, and it's 4 by 4, so I've marked at the 2-inch mark on all 4 sides. Then I have lined up, which way did I go? This way, I think it was, yes. Now I'm going to put a really light pencil mark. Now you don't have to do this if you think you can. Actually, probably just use my ruler without putting pencil marks. So what I'm going to do, put your ruler across there and then line these pencil marks up on your template like so. So that's my pencil mark there and there, and I've got my ruler against the 2 points. And then over this side, while you're holding that there, do the same on. You could put a little pencil mark through there if you wish. So that's got to go down a fraction, not much, without moving it too much. I think I might just eyeball it too. You can always trim extra. Now I've eyeballed that, it's easier to eyeball it. So I've got this lining up with that point there, up and down. So that's where it's going to sit. Now what I'm going to do is cut off, I might use these, cut off that. These are the side sections. If it's not enough, you can, if it's catching on your score line, then you can trim a little bit more. So that's the 2 sides we need cut off. And that's going to sit in there. And I'm just going to centre that. And it is a little bit wide, as you can see. So I might just take a fraction off both sides. It's because of the score line sitting up. I'll do it on both sides to try and keep it even. like so. Little bits of scrap everywhere. And then we can put that back in there, and that's much better. It's just inside the score line now, and that's going to sit flat in there. So if you just eyeball your little corner pieces here to make sure they look the same, I'm going to flip this over to work out where my glue is going to go. Pretty much there. And you don't want glue up on those top points. You do need it out to the edge. So we'll go across there and all the way around the edges. So that's the easiest way I found to do that centerpiece. Keep your template for if you do more than one. It's only a bit of scrap cardstock. So I'm just placing that back in there. And that will close. Could have gone with a little bit more off, but it shouldn't be too bad. That's good. And because of the thickness, it's got a little bit of a gap there, but nothing to worry about. We're going to put a greeting over the top of that. So that's that. Now these side pieces, these are going to cut on a diagonal. We can glue these two together, three together actually. We'll put them three together. This part's not so bad, not as difficult as that last piece to line up. So that's my mat on my main base colour, and the DSP is going on the front. On the side, those diagonal side pieces, you can see here, that's these two out here. The bees are cute on this, but my grandkids have grown up. One's married, one's engaged, one's in the army, and one's just almost finished school. So I've got no need for cute cards, although my daughter-in-law is having a bub late in life, which will be beautiful when it comes. So exciting news for that. So this here, we're going to just cut it down the middle with my trimmer. So I'm putting the 2 points in the track here. Without moving it. Try that again. Trying to get it right on those points. I'm going to start in the middle because I don't want to drag the points. And you're going to press quite hard because it's through 3 thicknesses of 2 cardstock and a DSP. So when you put these on, they're going on here. Actually, not on there. Take that back. On this, yes, they were there. So one goes there. You can see how this is folded up, and one on here, and they'll go level right with the join, the fold. And as you can see, they do line up with the back diamond as well, where this one didn't because I left that one extra mat off. So if I'd have had that mat on, they would have been all even. And that's what I meant about it sitting up. This here is down lower, lower when you sit it up that way. So it's not, it still sits okay, although the points keep wanting to tip in. So we can put these on. I'm going to put them on together. I'll go this way and flip it back over so we get the glue where we want it and not all over the piece. You only want glue where you know it's going to attach to the card. if you've got a directional paper, make sure you get your pattern in the right direction. This one's just checked, so it's not going to matter. So I'd line this up with your under piece to start with, and down on that score line. Pick it up and move it like so. And then the same with this side. Flip it over first. And this is where you can line it up with the one on the other side. And glue just around that part. And flip it back over. Not sure. Oh, I have lined up my checks. That was a bit of a fluke. Got the checks lined back up, which is good to do if you've got that sort of pattern. So that's the card, and then it's just a matter of decorating. A little bit crooked there, but it's not too bad. I was trying to line up the checks in the centre. Perfect. Now we have some decorations. Get all of these. These ones here I've stamped in black, the greetings, but the flowers I stamped off with Petunia Pop, and then I die cut in here. That's the flower I used, the one big one. And then there's these little tiny pieces, which I cut one, or I cut 3 of those to put the infill in these. And then I'm just going to put some embellishments in the centre. So this one, I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. I like to keep the bottom one flat, only because sometimes it doesn't sit right. So I'll put the top layer up on these. Get my pick tool. This is one my friend gave me. It's very pretty. And the other trick, using a circle, it doesn't matter where you stamp, because you just put it anywhere, and because it's a circle you can move your greeting around so it will sit correctly with your writing up the correct way. Now I only want glue on one side of this. I'm sort of centering it. Make sure my greeting is straight pretty much. And we shall put some glue over this side. I'm keeping it away from that centre score line because I don't want to end up with it gluing the other side together. Then we'll flip it back and hopefully it's straight. Just got a little bit there, not much. It won't stick because it's up on layers. So that's that. My Celebrate's going in here and it's just going flat. I don't want any more bulk inside. Just put it straight in the middle. Get straight. And then I've got these little flowers. I'm just going to scatter them around on here. Doesn't matter if it hangs over that edge a bit because it's still inside. This would take you would need an envelope that is 6 by 6 because of the points out here. Just a little 6 by 6 square envelope to fit. I might pop these up on dimensionals as well. So big enough. just going to curl the leaves up, the petals up a little bit. Put one out there. Almost done. I'll just put some embellishments on. We'll put 2 over that side. Roll that out of the road. And these ones, I'll just put these tiny little petunia pop ones in the centre. I probably could have put some white. And I'm going to put some, these bigger ones on the bigger centre flowers. That will do. All done. I hope you like that. I think I've shown you all the pieces that I used, and that's what it looks like. We have 2. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, pop it in comment in the comments, and I shall do my best to answer. And if you wish to join my group, Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials, you'll find the full PDF there. And have a lovely week, and I'll catch you all again next Monday. Bye for now.